And hello and welcome back everybody to twitch.tv/ChargeSimRacing here for the final round of the CRC Championship BMW M235i's here at Kyalami 2016, the GT layout of all. It's me, your boy, aka James, you know, we know each other by now, and I'm joined for one final time by...
Balls.
How are you
You
doing,
know who it
boss?
is.
How's your week been?
All right, I suppose. Yeah, nothing particularly exciting. Just just getting ready for some racing.
Exactly. As soon as I hit broadcast, the cat starts screaming, so she's going to be let inside. Anyway, final round. Here we are today at CRC. It's a little bit of a muted affair this week. We've had quite a lot of people not turning up for the final round, which is always the typical when you have these semi-casual, not entirely committal online championships. You do always experience some drop-off by the end, but we do have a notable few absences. I know we've got Lantern not here today, we've got Barry Dane not here today. Zyph is turning up, but he's done no practice. A few others as well. I think Red Zone hasn't turned up. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit more of a quiet affair today.
Yeah, it'll be a bit of a quiet affair, but at least we have the three main protagonists throughout the entire championship still here. So at least I think we're going to get a decent battle up the front, or at least I hope so.
Absolutely, and of course we did have the spectacle last week of Dario wrapping up the main championship with the drop race format. Even though he's not an excessive amount of points ahead, he's not, for example, 25 points ahead, with the drop race format, his worst result is a second place. So no matter what happens today here, if Dario crashes on lap 1 and retires, he will effectively get that second place back. So he has now sealed the championship. Currently in second place we have Jim Salabim, who is only a couple of points ahead of Jerd, so there will definitely be a second and third place battle there for them today. I'm just going to go grab the points because I haven't actually put them in yet. I do apologise. What are your predictions today, boss? What do you think is going to happen?
To be honest, I'm a little bit less prepared in terms of what could happen today than I have been the past few weeks. So yeah, I'll just be excited to see what goes on. Hopefully, we get a good battle right at the front. Yeah, again, it's going to be tricky to see, again, with the truncated grid. I think, those sitting at the top of the championship who haven't turned up may maybe ruining that decision. But again, we shall just see. But yeah, I mean, by the looks of it, it's going to be Dario probably right up there. But yeah, so far it's so far as 4 tenths up already, which is it's a fairly healthy gap. But again, I don't necessarily think that the others may have gotten those super representative times in right yet because they're still aiming in free practice. So, but yeah, hopefully we can see a good battle from start to finish throughout the race. But yeah, genuinely no predictions whatsoever.
Absolutely. So yeah, I've got the points table up right now. So Jim and Jerd can definitely still fight for that second place, and you know what? Zyph gets a good result and both those guys get into trouble. I think there is a small mathematical chance that he might be able to nab that second place, although that is highly unlikely. I believe Foes is also racing today for the first time in a week or two. Welcome back, Foes. So yeah, Foes and Zyph is definitely going to be an interesting battle today. Can Foes clamber back? Of course, with his drop points, he's only 11 points behind. So if Zyph were to finish, for example, lower than 7th, and Foes got like a second place, there is a slight mathematical chance he could nab that position. With Lantern out of the way, there is a big opportunity for Shiro and Meridibera to maybe grab some points. Lantern, of course, already using up his drop race with that DNF at Zolder. So there is definitely still lots to play for today, and I think everyone's just going to be a little bit cautious with fewer cars on the track. People are just going to try and think, hey, I can try and get maybe a 4th or a 5th today rather than running an 11th or 12th usually.
Yeah, again, I think this race certainly is going to be one where if you've turned up, it's going to be beneficial for your championship. Especially if you are, someone like Devemsa who's struggled with points for, the past few races, as we just watched Jim's on board spinning a little bit. But yeah, I mean, for guys like, I say, Devemsa and Bundua, it's going to be a little bit more of a this is my round to sort of cement my place in the championship and maybe even jump a good few spots. Because again, the lower you get down, the smaller the point gaps are. And so again, if you can make good on a race with only 12 competitors, yeah, you can just jump up the table an inhuman amount. So yeah,
Well, you know
again,
what?
this is going to be.
We've just hit 13 as Michael Ziomi has joined us today, so it's
Well,
getting
now that's
more and
ruined
more.
everything. There you go.
More and more my diluted the more we get down. I had a really good point, but it's now gone out of my... Oh, I remember. Also, this is an excellent chance to impress the Charge staff by showing your dedication and turning up to every single round of the championship, including the last one. So, well done to everyone who's made every single race. I know it's a little difficult sometimes to plan what am I going to be doing 8 weeks ahead of now, but definitely big thank you to everyone who's turned up every week and made this championship as fun as it has been.
Yes, I was also going to say, but half the people who've turned up today aren't the people who need to impress us. They're the people who we already know are going to turn up. So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword there, because it's
Well,
guys
I'm
like
pleased to see Foes and MSP back. I'm pleased to see Shiro and Golson back. I know they've missed a couple races, so
yeah, I know it's like there are certainly a good few people who are here, who we who are, I wouldn't say like new, but certainly came to this championship as fairly unknowns. They've sort of cemented themselves as being guys to look out for, and the fact that they've made all or nearly all the races is a very good thing. But again, it's like the guys who've appeared at all races are guys like Dario and Jim, who've been around for a fair while, and we know that they're committed drivers. So it's just kind of one of those things that you kind of have to get used to with a slightly non-committal championship like the CRC has been, unfortunately.
I mean, it does happen across the board. In any championship you run, there are going to be some people who are just not enjoying it and they don't want to run it anymore, and that's a perfectly valid take to have. I tell you what, though, I am quite sad to not see Lantern racing today. I know he's missing today because he's very what's the word I'm looking for? He's like very successfully found himself a new job and he's super happy about that, and so he's working due to him being in the USA. But looking at his recent form, he had a rough couple races at the start of the season, but his form is really improving, and I think last week he had a real legit go at the win, and he really could have gone for that. Unfortunately, due to penalties, Lantern ended up 5th. It was super tight at the front, and even just one tiny penalty is enough to take you from 2nd to 5th place. But with a little bit of luck, Lantern could have won last week. And definitely, as the championship goes on, and when the top guys have already cemented their places, I really would have loved to see him take the top step. But there's always next time.
Yes, and as reasons to not appear go, gainful employment is certainly a good one.
Absolutely, we stand employed people at Charged here. It's nice that the 3 most chronically unemployed people in Charge, being Lantern, myself, and Stephen, all now have jobs. Yay!
Hey, we stand wage.
Yes, we are now wages. What do you mean I can't sit here and drive pretend race cars for money? Who knows? Maybe in my...
We can't all be simulator drivers, unfortunately. Yes, it is Jerd. Quality is practice, and that is a mantra to live by if you are Jerd. There are quite... Yes, it's a mantra that many sim racers live by. Quality is practice, and the race is quality.
Just realised my mic was muted. My remark was, if you're as fast as Jerd, you might as well not bother practicing, just turn up and you'll still be absolutely lightning fast. But that is a good, almost advantage to Jim Salabim, because he was looking really quick in practice. He's obviously done a couple laps. Kyalami's a pretty easy track to get down. I think it's a nice, quite flowing track. It's got a couple little surprises. This corner we're coming up to right now with Golson. Let me just put on... Actually, with Jim Salabim, this left-hander catches everybody out the first couple times. Once you've got it down, Kyalami's an absolutely gorgeous circuit. In new and old form, you see this chicane is totally blind, and I've seen many people bury themselves in the gravel. So I definitely think this is an opportunity to get back in it and get comfortable, and it won't take you too long. I'll tell you what, in CRM practice the other day, on Kyalami 67, I rocked up to the practice race, hadn't done a single lap. I know Kyalami in its modern state really well. The old track I haven't driven properly for a really long time, so it was still quite foreign to me. I think within 2 or 3 laps I was fine. In the practice race I was pretty happy with how I was doing. I will just interrupt my waffling for a quick thank you to Nuji, who is subscribed with Twitch Prime, who is now on a 4-month sub streak. We stand. Thank you so much, Nuji, for your continued support and help with Charge. We absolutely love you in our community. Thank you so much for all the love and support and help. What an absolute Chad.
Yes, but to go back to that chicane, that is actually one of the remnants from the old circuit that is there. That is the old S's turn, and the one before that is I believe, is the old Clubhouse Bend as well, which if you've ever driven the old circuit, you know is an absolute pain in the bum to get right.
Which turn? Which turn is that again?
The one before the S's, Clubhouse
The
Bend.
one
I
before the
hate that
S's. I want the
Yeah,
what? That's the really tight left-hander.
Yes, I hate that one
That
because you
doesn't
always
bother
think
me that much. I don't think there's a
because
single corner I don't like on the track. Actually, I think they're all really. I think it's really good
it's the
track.
only one it's the only one I genuinely have I have umbrage with, because it goes you into thinking it's a third gear corner, but it's a second gear corner, and it's like, why?
On the old version, though, I'm sure Tommy and Ramos will talk about this on Friday. I like how wide it is because you can just take so many different lines. And I saw in that practice race on Friday people really experimenting, and a certain degree of that carries over to the modern circuit as well. It definitely retains a lot of that character. And as you're going to see today, especially some of the slower corners, there's that big right hairpin, which is one of the penultimate corners in the track. There are so many different ways you can take that corner, and we are going to see people. This track's really good for overtaking. I think it's really good, just natural race building track. Well done, Kyalami. I think you're fantastic. I think it should be on the F1 calendar, personally. But yeah.
I'll need a few upgrades before that happens, but it is a circuit that is worthy of its legacy, certainly.
What category is it? FIA grade? Is it 2 or
grade
3?
Grade 2.
Grade 2, yeah. You know what? Screw the rules. Just make it an F1 circuit. It's too good.
I mean, if you give it some Aramco barriers and some Rolex bridges, you should be alright, but...
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. I wonder what a modern F1 car would even do around this circuit. It's probably super low. It's probably like in the 1 minute 10s, 20s, that kind of region.
I'd guess about 110, 115 sort of region, yeah. Because again, I'm just trying to think what the times were when they last went here in the 90s, when it was this sort of layout, and yeah, I think they were doing about 125s around here. So
oh, they'd be close. They'd be within under 1 minute 10 now, almost certainly. Then probably 115, reckons Nuji. I tell you what, if anyone's there, go take a modern F1 car around it and get back to us. Whoever comes up with a realistic time first gets a high five.
Get a plane to South Africa and hijack a McLaren MLC 35M and then tell us.
Anyway, back on subject here. I tell you what, Quali's practice is doing one man very, very well, as Jerd is currently in second place provisionally. With 5 minutes to go, Jim Salabim is going to be cursing at Zyfe the whole time as he's stuck behind him on track right now. Dario is still provisionally fastest, not much surprise there, but it is pretty damn close. Foes is also up there. Zyfe a little bit off the pace today. A good finish from Foes today, and he could snatch that fifth in the standings from Zyfe.
Yeah, I mean, Foes, again, that missed race may have hurt him a little bit in terms of his momentum, but if you can put a good result in here, yeah, I mean, anything is possible for that fifth place in the championship. As Jim Salabim cruises into the gravel, very gently. But yeah, again, this is kind of one of those races where unfortunately, first place, that's sewn up. But there's more to go for in like second, third, fourth, and fifth positions. Anything could really happen. It's down to the last race.
Absolutely, there is still a lot of fighting to go on to today.
Yeah. And as we look at the track right now, as we see Jim Salabim going through the turn, through, I believe that's turn 3, coming down basically on the last remnants of the old circuit, coming through. I believe this, I may be wrong, this is the old barbecue bend. Very long, sweeping right-hander into the tight left-hander of the old clubhouse bend, which, like I say, is one that really goads you into approaching it in third gears, but it is a second gear corner, much slower than you expect. And then the old S's, which is a blind drop into an uphill sweeper, which is fantastic fun to drive, but also incredibly tricky to get right. I'm not entirely well versed in the new circuit, but again, there's a good amount going on there to keep you entertained, and it does drive. From what I gather, it still drives like a good flowing racetrack that you want to drive around, and you can still fight with. As we go on board with Foes, again going around the last of the old corners. Yeah, I mean, Foes is actually looking pretty good on his PB. I believe that's plus 1/10 away from Dario.
He's currently half a second off though, so he needs to really be looking at going purple in a couple sectors if he wants to get up there.
Yeah.
I mean, if he can improve marginally a little bit, but yeah, I tell you what though, if you haven't driven Kyalami, the modern format boss, I would really recommend it, and this mod especially is fantastic. I think I've done 3 races on this track in Assetto Corsa, and it is a fantastic quality mod, and the track is just great. I like every single corner on this track. I think it's really, really excellent. But yeah, Foes, he's looking very similar to his previous lap time. He's 3/10 up through Sector 2. We come through this lovely fast right-hander that's almost flat if you get it right, and I really like this last corner as well. It's great for a little sneaky send. The speed is not too high there, so you can be a bit of a hooligan there and chuck it up. Let's see what Foes can do as he comes across the line. Nice short pit, straight run as well. He improves a little bit, but actually no, he doesn't. He is orange on his final sector, so he's going to go around again. Dario has just about bought his lap and gone back to the pits, but Jerd is looking very, very good, although he's stuck behind Golson at the moment.
Yeah, again, I think Dario is, excuse me, the one to really watch out for on this track. Again, he's currently nearly 4/10 up on his nearest rival. So that is going to be quite a gap to come across around a lap like this, and especially in these cars where it's really about the person behind the wheel rather than getting the setup dialed in. Of course, a good setup helps, but yeah, this car really is a car that the driver really makes the biggest of the differences in here.
Oh, I'll tell you what, just speaking of the devil, Lantern is in the Twitch chat. What is up? I'm guessing you are tuning in from work. I'm very sad that you're not driving Stay Lantern. I was talking about how earlier on, I thought you had a really good legit shout at the win last week, and I'd love to see you on track. Yeah, where is Bihu? Where is he? You get him here, Drip Tex. Call him up and threaten to kick his ass. He's got 2 minutes to get to his computer. But yeah, of course, yeah, we are running with a slightly truncated grid today. Final round of the season, we always get some dropouts, so it is pretty standard.
Yes.
Oh no, actually, I know exactly what's happened to Zabihu. He had a CPU problem. I think about like an hour or so before the race, he had a blue screen and he had a whole bunch of stuff on his computer that wasn't working. So really sad to see Zabihu not here, and we definitely give him our condolences and our love. Hopefully his PC gets up and running and we see him racing super, super soon.
I will pull one out for your CPU. I didn't pour it out, I drunk.
And with just the final few seconds of qualifying left, I can't see a massive amount changing. Poor Zyfe is well down in 8th place. Unfortunately, that's what no practice does to you. Can he improve? He does, yes. Moving up to 6th behind his main championship rival Foes. Oh, actually, Fox, not Foes. I tell you what, I know they've got very similar names, but Fox up in 5th place. That's a really good result from him. Shiro is coming round now. I don't think anyone has the legs to beat Dario today. Can Shiro jump a couple places? Can't quite tell based on his delta time. And Shiro takes 6th place, pipping Zyfe. That's a good qualifying finish from him. Who else is still out on track? We have Jerd. Let's have a look at Jerd. MSP moves up to 10th, back onto Jerd. He's still stuck behind Golston, and I don't think he's going to be doing much about that. Jim Salabim is also still orange on his sectors, so I don't think he's quite got the legs, but a good final sector might just jump Jerd for 2nd.
But I don't think anyone's unfortunately going to be troubling Dario for outright pace today. He looks incredibly sort of assured with his pace around here.
Oh, I'll tell you what, that's an excellent Sector 1 from Foes, though. I want to watch this.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's almost purple from Foes. You know what? Foes has been one of the most entertaining drivers in this entire championship. I would love to see him have a real scrap today. But he's had a poor 2nd sector and has now lost 4/10. But with a strong finish, there is a slight chance he might be able to get 2nd, start on the front row. We shall stick with Foes though. Jerd is finished now, has not improved. Jim Salabim has not improved and will start 3rd unless Foes can do something really special here. Zyfe is still on track, but I don't know if he quite has the legs to improve. Coming around the final turn, it's looking strong from Foes, I have to say. Based on his delta, this is looking within a 10th or 2 of Dario. Let's have a little peek. And it's not an improvement. The delta has lied to me. So that is a 4th place start from Foes. Zyfe is the last man out on track. He's coming across the line. He is up on his personal best, so it's not going to be an improvement. And Zyfe will start 7th place. So that is going to be your final grid for the final race of the final round of CRC here at Kyalami.
Yeah, it's the people we expect to be up at the front are up at the front, but there are a couple of outliers. Like Zyfe normally is far closer to the front than 7th place. Normally he's around about 4th or 5th on the grid, depending on the track. Yeah, again, but as I say, it's a fairly standard fare for the CRC with the grid in general. Although Fox, as I say, put in a very, very good qualifying run.
Yeah, Fox is my star of qualifying. It's a great performance from him. I mean, typically, guys like Shiro, Zyfe, Iceman, Golson, he would usually be behind all of them, so that's a great performance from Fox. He should be really proud of himself. And he's only 8/10 off the leader when there is quite a large field spread today, so great performance from Fox. He's really been putting in those laps, as you can see.
Yes, Fox is also a regular appearer at our what was Fun Fridays is at the moment Fun Mondays. So yeah, he's a good guy who knows how to have a bit of fun. But when he's got the work put in, he's quick as well.
Absolutely. I tell you what, we've got Iris in the chat right now saying that the track is completely different from the one we're using from CRM. It doesn't even go the same way around. It does in certain places. In some it doesn't, in some it does. But you know what? Even though it is obviously drastically different, I think it definitely has the same spirit, and a lot of the corners have the same energy for me. I definitely don't think it's a circuit that's been butchered by its modernization, and I think you get a lot of the same character that you get from, sorry, that's my cat, from the modern circuit as you did the old one. It's got a lot more kind of slow and medium speed corners. It's a lot more technical, but I definitely think it has the same spirit, and I think it's right in the places that count. You've got kind of big braking zones, you've got some fast flowy bits, you've got the S's, and you've got the hills and the big kind of swooping straight. So I definitely think it captures the spirit of the original.
It does have a very, again, I was saying, because of the elevation change, because of some of the straights being not quite straight, it does have a little bit of an old school vibe, and I quite like that.
Either way, they're both good circuits. Druptech says, let the cat spit some facts. Hang on. No,
yeah,
she doesn't want to. She's got no bars, unfortunately. She's a sucker. Anyway, predictions for the race. Is Dario going to take it easy today and cruise, or is Dario going to go into kill mode? Is he going to just butcher everyone and win by 30 seconds?
I'm gonna go guess kill mode, because there is genuinely nothing to lose at the moment. So the worst result he gets, it doesn't affect him.
That is true. If Dario finishes lower than second place today, he essentially gets a second place back. His worst finish in this championship is a second place, and I tell you what, that's like Alain Prost level of dominance. So brilliant performance from Dario. He's definitely been the star of the championship all season long. Dario doesn't know what take it easy is, from my experience as Naughty, and I definitely think that's something we can all attest to. Dario is not a guy that holds back. He's a guy that runs at 100. He keep it 100 at all times. That's why he's won this championship.
He is the human embodiment of the 100 emoji.
Absolutely. He's definitely got Schumacher-esque determination, and that's why, like I said, that's why Dario's been winning. He's been so good, he's been so dedicated, he's out-driven, he's out-practiced, out-performed. He's really been unstoppable this championship, and I cannot wait to see what he races in next.
Yes, it'll be quite interesting to see. There is a few things in the pipeline that he may appear in and may actually do very well in. But as I say, that's all I'll say on that, otherwise I will be shot.
Hee. But yeah, definitely do expect some. I know I've been saying it for a couple of weeks now, but at some point very soon, there will be some cool things coming out on Charged. I can't say any more than that for now, but there will be lots to keep you busy. We're of course going to have our banging weeklies every single week that are open to join for anyone. We're always going to have our fun Mondays, our hot lap challenges, and there will be more less casual things coming up very, very soon. Tommy Ball says keep an eye on the streams, followed by whoops. So that might be a little. What's the word? Look, a little prequel of what might be to come on Friday. I'm not saying anything.
The stormtroopers have been dispatched to Edinburgh to eliminate Tommy Ball for leaking the information.
Anyway, it's 1 minute to go. I tell you what, at Kyalami, oh stupid screen. At Kyalami, this is the absolute tightest grid you are ever going to see. Look at how wedged in these cars are. It's absolutely criminal. I remember when we raced here in the GT4 Championship, this was why we agreed to do rolling starts, because we were like, we're not doing this, we were just going to crash if this happens. So that might be one to watch out for today. All the cars incredibly close to each other off the line. So, there's an open spot here. Someone's missing between Iceman and Michael Ziomi. But yeah, definitely everyone's going to have to be careful today, especially those who are good at clutch starts. Might get an advantage here, might be able to jump several cars, or there might be a humongous crash. We will find out.
Yes, this might be the crunch grid of the year.
Just going to get us into a nice position. There's a lot of like ambient track noise on this circuit today, which I think is really cool. You can hear jackhammers and birds and all kinds of stuff going on. It's a pretty vibey experience. Iris says if you have a clutch, you get the advantage of launching yourself into the other car's bumper.
We all know your tactics.
We are 6 lights on and we are ready to go. Dario is on pole, followed by Jerd. The championship might have been wrapped up, but there still are some battles to go, and someone has stopped on the grid. I'm not quite sure who that is.
Bizarre. But
that better not be me. Oh my god, we have almost 7 wide coming up onto the start-finish line right now. Amazingly, everyone keeps it clean. Zyfe is giving foes some argy-bargy, and Fox is also up there as well, but everyone has made it away pretty cleanly. That's a pretty good getaway. Let's go and switch back to Autocam. And Jim Salabim has managed to jump Dario somewhere in that mess. I tell you what, I haven't seen that many cars that wide for such a long time. Autocam is messing with me. Luckily everyone is... I think that might have been MSP who was just static off the start. Currently we have Foes and Zyfe and Shiro and a whole bunch of cars really in a huge pack here, but everyone's keeping it going.
Yeah, again, that was a pretty clean getaway aside from the stranded car on the grid. But yeah, going 7 wide into T1, you don't see that every day. So that was insane for everyone to be able to keep it, you know, keep it 100 and just not have a massive accident.
I tell you what though, it's been a really, really good start for Fox, who's up to 4th. Great start for Zyfe, who's up to 5th. Shiro and Foes losing out a tiny bit, just dropping back. We'll definitely see how that goes. I tell you what, Dario and Jim are side by side right now. Let's go watch this battle.
Yeah, this is... I imagine this is going to be quite... there's going to be no quarter given, no quarter taken. You know, Jim is going to want that win. He's going to want to have the last laugh. But Dario is also basically sort of realises, there's nothing to lose. I'm going to go for it, like, beyond what I would normally would to just cement a championship and just give it more than everything.
I tell you what, Dario and Jim have been side by side for almost the entire lap here. This is really close racing from these guys, and definitely over this championship they've had a lot of respect for each other. It's been remarkably clean. We've had very few incidents at the front for such a tight championship, so it's really been a great respectful run.
Yeah, there's only been a couple of instances that I can think of where it will be maybe a little bit on the ooh, that was a bit close thing. But
Dario's going really late here, but he doesn't quite get the move. Jim just takes a little bit extra run on the outside and gets some of that momentum, having to cut off Dario for another chance. Bundawar's having some trouble further on down the grid. He has now dropped back. Devemsa is also getting a bit hung out by Shiro. Shiro having a really rough start, ending up in 9th after quite a strong qualifying. Devemsa looking... Oh no, and Devemsa has wiped out Shiro. I think I saw Devemsa's car getting all out of shape there, and poor Shiro is doing donuts at the moment. That might be it for him, unfortunately. He's getting back on the move, though. MSP has kind of caught up the back of the pack after his bizarre non-start.
Well, yeah, that was cool. I think he disconnected and then again rejoined on the grid, which is a bit of a no-no to do, because it can cause jump starts to happen. But yeah, it's like to recover from basically being stopped for about 10 seconds to the back effectively. That's not bad.
Shiro is a fast driver, so I'm not surprised at all.
That's MSP that was at the back of the pack.
Oh, MSP, sorry, not Shiro. Yeah, well, MSP is also a quick driver, so when you have that concertina of the first lap, there is plenty of time to make up when you are in clear air. Speaking about clear air, everything is kind of filling out a little bit now. Foes is still behind Zyfe after Zyfe's really, really strong start, so we shall see if he can get the jump on Zyfe. Looks like he's going for a move here up the inside, and I tell you what, Foe's not disappointing. Like he's done
a brave move.
It was a great move, though. You can make it work. You can go really, really tight at that hairpin. Oh, Zyfe getting really sideways. I tell you what, though, there's a Jägermeister car covered in scratches. It can only be one person. It's Foes. He knows how to get his elbows out on lap 1. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't come for this very last round with a slight update delivery, which was already pre-scratched.
But yeah, after getting that move done, looks like he's pretty comfortable ahead of Zyfe. I don't know if he can potentially get a little look at Jerd, who is in 4th place. Currently, Jim Salabim is winning that fight for 2nd place, and he is really confidently leading this race. I tell you what, it's a shame Jim didn't have a bit of better luck earlier on in the season, because he really might have been able to take the fight to Dario a bit more regularly.
Yeah, I think again, from what I remember from the early races, he was pretty close to Dario on pace, but he just didn't quite get the breaks that maybe would have helped him, fight for like the seconds and firsts that he would have needed to really take the fight to Dario and sort of make it a not so one-sided championship, as it were. But I think in every race he's shown, incredible pace and just fantastic defensive driving skills as well. Especially in like Interlagos, his defensive driving was beyond brilliant. It was.
I'll tell you what, talking about beyond brilliant, we have Fox currently in P3. He's managed to wiggle past Jerd, taking advantage of the fact that Jerd has done no practice for today. And I'll tell you what, Fox is now hounding Dario and Jim. Could this be Fox's great drive today? We shall keep an eye on this as this one unveils. But yeah, Fox looking really strong on the podium today.
Yeah. Has he got the engine from the M8 GCE car in there?
You know what? Fox has just modded his car. I'm sure he's done something. I'm sure he's put something that shouldn't be in there. He's put like 5G aero brakes and oh my word, I tell you what. And Jim has run wide. And hang on a minute, we're about to see Fox possibly in the lead here. Dario had a little bit of a rub with Jim Salabim. Jim ended up on the gravel. Fox is now running in 2nd. He's got a very angry Jerd, Jim Salabim, and foes all behind him. The Fox train is now on. But I'll tell you what, he almost had a sniff at getting the lead there. Let's go have a look from the back of Dario's car. Let's see what's going on behind them. And the Twitch chat are absolutely loving it. There's a lot of support for Fox today. Again, very much loved member of the community, and great to see him running so well today.
Yes, although I will say that the allegations of Fox maybe modding his car are totally unfounded, because it would be blinding if he did.
What if he did it subtly? Sure. What if he just gave himself 100 more horsepower? That is, of course, a joke.
Yes, but the thing is, if Fox would have his way with his car, your retinas would be burnt out, and there would just be a supernova of light.
Yeah, I think Fox would be
nothing else.
I think he's more concerned about having the brightest car on track rather than the fastest car on track. But he's still holding these guys off, and I tell you what, if that was just a fluke that Fox is in 2nd, he would have been gobbled up by Jim and Jerd almost immediately. But he is holding his own legitimately, and he's really keeping up with Dario as well. So this is some great driving from Fox. Let's try and have a look at what Jim can see. Jerd's having a look at the move, though. I think he's not quite got the move done. Fox can't quite cover him off yet, but will that wider line provide him a bit of cover? It does. Jerd's going to have to try again. Let's go have a little peek on board with Jerd, see what he can see.
A pink badge. I think that's all he can see, really.
Is he going to try the move here? I think he's braking late, but not quite late enough.
No, and Fox has done a very good job to sort of not only hold on to 2nd place, but stick with Dario as well.
Yeah, the gap has pretty much not changed over the last half a lap when he's been under constant threat from Jerd. So really, really good driving from Fox. Or maybe Dario's just slowing down because he wants to watch all the fun. We will never know. But great lap times. Great lap times from all these guys. Dario setting a 55.0. He's looking really, really fast out there today. Zyfe is also not too far back. He's setting pretty comparable lap times. We're seeing 55s all the way down to Golson in 7th place. So it is looking pretty damn tight today, I have to say. And as these guys continue to fight, we might see more cars getting brought into this epic battle at the front. Jim is still looking to get back past Jerd, though. It's just kind of like a bit of a human train, as everyone taking a lot of runoff there, but that's all good.
Yeah, I mean, Jim's been having a look at trying to get past Jerd for a couple of corners, and yeah, he's gone alongside a couple of times, but just I think thought the better of it and just had to back out.
Oh, Fox getting very wide there.
Yeah,
it might hurt him a little bit on the corner exit. He's going to have to be a little bit compromised. What is Jerd going to do?
I think Jerd got a bit of compromise as well and has just dropped back ever so slightly. But yeah, as I say, the gap is still, again, around about 7/10 of a second, not really going out, not really coming back in. So again, it'll be quite interesting to see it'll be very interesting actually to see if Fox becomes the cork in the bottle, or if everyone's just maintaining a good pace and then try and launch an assault at the end as well.
Foes has got past Zyfe and he is now closing up on this pack. I think Zyfe must have made a mistake because he's dropped well back on this lap. Unfortunately, didn't see that one happen. That could have happened at any time. And again, we are just super wide going into this braking zone now. Whole lot of cars just spreading out. Any one of these drivers could get the move done and gain several places. It's just, do you have the bravery and the gall to do it? Are we going to see a move from Jerd here? He's having another sniff, but he's now got Jim attacking him from the outside. Michael Ziomi dropping down a couple places, lots of trading places going on with these guys. I'll try and see what's happening there. And almost Bunduar and MSP look like sharks hassling Michael Ziomi with his Castrol livery.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle, and it looks like Jim's got it on Jerd. Can he make the stick through the inside?
Jerd's going to get the drive out of that. They rub. And Jerd has to eat a little bit of curb, but he is still going. And I tell you what, Fox is legitimately catching up to Dario here. Again, I don't know how much practice any of these drivers did today, but Fox is legit challenging for a win right now. And all the drivers behind him are all keeping each other busy. We could definitely see an absolute tour de Fox going on here. Oh, that was a bad pun.
Yes, it's going to be a very aggressive battle, I think, between Fox and Dario if this kind of is kept up. Because, yeah, as I say, I thought that Fox may well be the cork in the bottle, but he is not. He is right on there, and people are actually kind of dropping away from their squadron with themselves, and they're not able to kind of keep up with him.
I think Zyfe ate a bit of dirt there. He dropped a couple places, losing out to Golson and Iceman. I think he just had a little bit of a mistake. Again, his lack of practice is definitely showing today.
Yeah, this could be... Yeah, again, it's always better to sort of put the hours in and have a bit of practice if you want to be the quickest. But, you know, not everyone has the time. Although I think for Zyfe, it was literally just he could not be bothered. And we are allowed to say that.
Well, I know Zyfe had some family commitments today, and that was what kept him busy. And he almost missed out on the race, so well done for Zyfe for making it. But yeah, sometimes you just want to turn up and drive. You don't want to spend weeks sweating on your lines and chasing, you know, hundredths of a second. So, you know what? Regardless of whether anyone did any practice or not today, this race has been really clean and it's got lots of great action going on. So I think whatever practice these guys have done, it's perfect for today. Dario is stretching his lead a little bit now, and you can see he's really putting the heat on now. 54.3 when he was doing 55s earlier on. I think Dario just wanted to watch for a little bit. Now he's gotten in the groove. He's driving off as Michael Ziomi takes that corner a little bit too fast and is now coming under threat from Shiro, Bunduar and MSP. And I tell you what, with 3 of these cars in the spec livery, it almost looks like we're playing Protect the President again.
Yes, yeah, and I say Ziomi with that wide line through that corner, he's going to come under threat from 3 and then maybe even 4 cars if Devemsa can get in there. As we go on board with Foes now, again looking right at the back of Jerusalem, and what was it? Oh my word!
Huge crash, huge crash. I believe that was Michael Ziomi getting a bit bent out of shape, and we had 4 cars going off, and that's a really rough rejoin from Michael Ziomi as well, almost catching Del Emsa. I tell you what, I saw that brewing, and I'm really glad I caught it. That's a shame. That's a big hit. Unfortunately, I think someone's going to be getting in trouble for that one. It's rare to see 4 cars involved in one crash. I think that's quelling. Let's go have a look at Jim Salabim, who is now catching up to Fox.
Now the question is, where can he make the move? It looks like right now.
Here, right now. Oh, that's a very forceful move. And he almost pushing Fox off the track. And I tell you what, Jim would not be popular if he punted Fox out of a legitimate second place today. So I think he backed off a little bit, and Jim has now fallen under threat from Jerd right now. So this will continue as Jerd runs really wide over the tarmac. And is he going to keep that together? He does. But Foes, again with an impressive move, goes for a huge dive bomb on Jerd, and he kind of makes that work. I think that was just about on the limit of acceptable. More spectacular driving from Foes there.
Yeah, that was a bit of a rub in his race and overtake, but if it works, it works.
Well, considering we've seen, you know, Jerd, Jim and Foes all send it like hell today, I think that's totally fine by me based on first look. And well, of course, the stewards will of course take a look at that when they do have the weekly stewarding session. So, let's see. I tell you what though, it's another brief respite from Fox. He's got 15 minutes left to hold, well 16 minutes plus 1 lap to hold these guys off. So any bit of rubbing they do is definitely helping him out. I'm sure he's got his eyes on the prize of that second place right now.
No, I hope that if they do review that contact and stewarding, they'll just look at it and go, that was sick, and move on to the next one.
You know what? For CRC, when those kind of impacts have happened, that's usually what has happened. There was one, we did CRC stewarding for last week a couple of days ago. I can't remember who it was, but someone did a pretty audacious move, and we were like, that's wicked, next one. That is pretty much what happens in CRC. It's definitely, you have a bit more liberty here, as long as you're not whacking people off the track, but big moves, big prizes, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, as long as you're not sort of doing the big... as long as you're not being like malicious about anything or making egregious errors that really you should know better not to make, yeah, you should be all right.
It's very easy to tell the difference between a legitimate overtaking attempt where there's a bit of rubbing and then someone who's just being a knob. So, absolutely. Tommy says, any predictions? Well, I can tell you who's going to win. I don't think there's any surprises on that one. You're talking about the football tonight, because that I'm less sure about. But I think as much as we're loving seeing Fox right now running in second place, I don't think he's going to hold off these guys forever. I think Jim was quite polite on that last overtake attempt, and I think all he has to do is stamp his authority on it. Although Jerd has dropped back right now. He's really been hurt this lap, I think. So I think Fox might struggle to hold off Jim Salabim forever, but there's a real chance of him getting a legit podium today, and we'd love to see it.
Yeah. Again, if there's a guy who deserves the podium in the CRC, I think it's him. He's had a few pretty poor races, but this one he's up there on merit, and that is really good to see.
Oh, there is a prediction that someone's put up. Was that Tommy? Fox to stay in second. Oh, let's see. I want to see how this one goes.
I mean, seeing as Jim is there, I don't think that's going to last particularly long.
I think Jim's getting a better drive out here. Fox is really fighting him, though, forcing Jim to take the outside line. Fox is just going to cover it off, and oh, that's a very aggressive chop from Fox, but Jim sees it coming and they avoid contact. Foes is now potentially coming back into the mix as well, so this is going to continue to spice up.
It does look like a very, very aggressive four-car train right now. Although Jerd, to be fair, has fallen off a fair bit, so I don't know what's going on there.
Now, as we get further on into the race, I had the same experience in CRC practice the other day. My first 10 laps were alright, and then I just forgot how to drive. I think he's kind of hit that period where his brain stopped working, and he's like, oh, how do I do this again?
But the problem with that theory is that if practice is quality, then quality is the race, and so he should be flying, but it's not happening.
Well, sometimes in quali you have to do cool-down laps.
Not an excuse.
And once again, Fox is holding off Jim right now with some really, really good, smart driving. He's defending really well and not letting Jim take anything from him for free. We can see again Fox is going nice and defensive really early into the hairpin, forcing Jim to take the long way around, and that is going to open up to a potential onslaught from Foes behind.
Yeah, Foes, as I say, as we've seen throughout the series, when it comes to overtaking, he's not exactly the most gentle overtaker, I think is the best way to put it. There's a reason why the Jägermeister car is probably more bare metal than it is orange at the end of the race.
Although Foes is definitely not one to ever disappoint. He's been one of the absolute most entertaining drivers of the entire series, and I'm loving seeing him race again today. Is he now going to have a look at Jim Salabim? Are we going to see a big train of sends here? Not quite. I'm surprised Fox didn't move further over to the left to deny Jim the opportunity. I'm surprised Jim didn't go for it, because you can really break late into that T1.
I think they might just be playing it sensible for a couple of laps and then just waiting for a little mistake to creep in and then just taking massive advantage of this, as Fox runs very, very wide there. And
again, he's going defensive really early. This is not the corner you want to be overtaking on. They're always going to drift to the outside. That's brave from Jim to hang it in there. And I tell you what, Fox would have compromised himself a little bit there, having to lift off. But Fox is carrying the speed through the outside, and I think he's just about going to keep the position. He avoids the gravel, because if you touch that, your move is over. But oh, this is some good racing from all of these guys. Fox really holding on and giving it everything he's got in that BMW liveried BMW. The one time Fox puts the right livery on the right car. Oh, yes. It's super, super close to all these guys now as Jerd is taking a look at Foes. It's hard to really look at anything else because there's not really any action comparable to this level going on right now. We've just got these four cars. We're just all stuck to each other.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a battle going on from Golson down to Zeif, but that's kind of it. But yeah, I mean, as I say, but when there's a four-car battle for second place, you want to watch the four-car battle for second place.
Ooh, and Jerd getting really
gets very
close to
close.
Foes. Absolutely. I think he almost sniffed an opportunity there, but kind of realised it wasn't happening. Foes getting up on 2 wheels over the curb with some nice AC physics going on there. Fox quite wide out the final corner. That might hurt him going into T1. I think Jim is in prime sending position right now.
Will he lick the stamp and then will he post it?
Look how defensive Fox is going so early on. He can't get more left, and he's now trying to dart back and cover the right-hand side. Fox is maybe a bit too quick, though. I think he's carried a bit too much speed into that corner, and this is almost certainly going to be Jim getting the move done here. No, Fox not giving him any room. I thought Fox had fluffed that a little bit. He went really deep into that turn 1, although he's gone deep again. Foes is now hassling Jim Salabim. I tell you what, there's only 13 cars on the track, and you wouldn't think it with the amount of action going on today. Brilliant amount. 3 wide.
3 wide.
Oh no, 3 into 1 does not go on this corner. It really doesn't. 2 into 1 doesn't go. But I tell you what, Foes has done the double overtake and is now up to second, passing both of them with an absolutely harebrained move. Oh no, but he's now had contact. And there's a traffic jam, and Fox is back into second. Oh, I think that was just a bit too much. These guys are running almost 4 wide for such a long time, and unfortunately Foes, once again the most spectacular overtaker on the track, just falls foul there and ends up getting clipped by Jim Salabim. But once again, Fox is back up to second. After a brief foray into fourth, he's now back up there. Oh my word.
Yes, you wouldn't expect this action from this lower number of cars on the track. But here we are, one of the best battles I think I've seen the entire series as Iceman goes for a trip through the gravel. I don't know what happened there, but...
He was trading places with Zyfe there. I hope that was no foul play from Zyfe. Ooh, no.
Zyfe, it's called abuse when you abuse your powers, not you abuse other people. Thank you.
Zyfe DSQ says Tommy Ball. That's a stewarding meme that is now somehow spilling out into the real world. Jerd now is... I tell you what, now I'm a bit concerned now because Jerd pretty much now has free reign on Fox. There's not anyone to hassle Jerd, so I think he's just going to get his brain back in gear. He might snatch that second, but I think Fox is looking great for a second place today. We haven't talked about him for a while, but the man himself, Dario, is very comfortably out in the first place. He now has a 10-second lead. He's banging in 54.0s. He might even be on a 53 on this lap. The man's pace is absolutely incredible. Dario has already wrapped up the championship. He's had an incredible season and he's just cruising today.
Yeah, this is a kind of he was just kind of holding it up a little bit in the first few laps, just seeing what evolved then from like the 20-minute mark. It was just lights out, away we go.
I did suspect that he was maybe sandbagging a bit. I think he just wanted to watch, which is a totally valid reason, but he's definitely put the hammer down. Are we even going to see a 53 from Dario at this rate? Because he's really flying on this lap. Let's have a look back. Jerd is not getting any closer to Fox right now. Not too much action going across the board. Jim Salabim is a second back from Foes, and we also have Devemsa not too far off Bundawa, so we definitely will keep an eye on all of those.
Yeah, I was going to say that, I mean, you talk about sandbagging. I didn't realise the BMW 235i had enough room to hold the entire Sahara Desert.
Oh man, you want to talk about sandbagging? We know who's the absolute master of sandbagging. It's Lord Patrese himself with his depleted uranium sandbags he keeps in his Capri.
I mean, he has the entire Sahara Desert and then all the world's beaches combined, and then that's only half the sandbags in his car.
Oh man, yeah, Patrese just keeps a neutron star in his boot just for safekeeping.
Just weighed down by all his good looks. Or it could be the really mean thing, and it's just the weight of him having to carry Alan throughout the championship.
Oh, boss! Oh, you didn't. You hoodlum.
Oh.
This could be time for the move right here as Fox getting a bit of a bad exit through the final corner. Is Jerd going to go for the move? I tell you what, he might have seen how Fox was defending from Jim earlier on in the race. He might be a bit careful, but we do know Jerd has really, really strong racecraft. He's looking up the inside. He's not quite there, though. Fox is really good at holding his brakes nice and late today. Ouch, Boz, says Naughty. Yes, I know. Alan's going to come get you now.
I did say I could go the mean way. It was an example.
We are back and the fight is still going on. You are here on twitch.tv/ChargeSimRacing. Thank you very much for joining us for round 6 of the CRC Championship. This, of course, is the finale. The title is already wrapped up with Dario, who is now 11 seconds in the lead. He's already won the championship, but there is still a fight for second place in the championship, which currently I believe Jerd is looking like he's going to take. He's having a look at Fox for second place overall today, which would really help him out in his championship fight, but oh my word, both these guys are lapsing in their concentration right now. Fox having a big send over the curb, and this might be where Jerd gets the place for good. Foes and Jim Salabim are closing up behind though. A lot of very similar names: Jerd, Jim, Foes, Fox. But Jerd goes really deep there and just doesn't get the move done. Fox has been an absolute king of defensive driving today.
Yeah, I mean, Fox has basically just been driving, I wouldn't say faultlessly, but he's been putting in the sort of the moves we usually would be expecting from guys like Jim and Jerd. Up there, and so it's good to see him being able to kind of again hold on that second place just purely on his own merit, not because anyone else has, you know, really messed up or fallen way back or not turned up, which is, again, it's always good to see when someone really comes to the fore and shows that, yeah, I may not have had the best season, but when time comes to it, I can be up there.
Let's have a quick look at the standings. So if Fox were to get second place today, he would almost double his season tally, and that would put him really up there with guys like Lanton and Mera de Barra. Mera de Barra, another notable absence today. That is a real shame. I was expecting to see him maybe try and leapfrog Lanton in the standings today, but absolutely, yeah, so a good result from Fox could really improve his championship standings today, so I am living for it. Let's go, Fox.
Yeah. But yeah, as I say, Jerd is still there in third. Iceman is still in 8th after that, coming together with Zyfe, or possible coming together with Zyfe. This is going to be quite a thing, because I say Zyfe hasn't really been practicing. I think Iceman probably has. So again, this could be where circuit knowledge could come into massive play.
I think Iceman might be seeking a little bit of retribution as well. If he definitely had a tangle with Zyfe, he's going to want that place back, and he's going to make Zyfe work for it. Let's go.
Yes, vindication may be on the cards. Apologies, that was my drink hitting the microphone. Just a little peek behind the curtain there.
Sorry, I think I did just stream 2 seconds of the football. I do apologise, it is now on mute. Turn off the football, James, this naughty dragon. Oh, I did putting it on my other monitor. What happened there? Sorry, I missed it. I was looking at the chat.
Zyfe spun out on the hairpin, but Iceman still wasn't able to make the corner and take that position. So it's still Zyfe 7th, Iceman 8th.
Interesting. We still have Dev Emsa Bundawar and Michael Ziomi all pretty close to each other. The gap between Fox and Jerd is remaining somewhat consistent in 2nd and 3rd. That is not a copyright strike incoming. It was just 2 seconds of Shout out to Elmo in the chat, who is subscribed at tier 1 yet again on Twitch. He's now a 6th month subscriber. Thank you very much, Elmo, for your continued support. Jerd's having another sniff at Fox, but he doesn't quite get the move done. Not quite yet. With 2 minutes to go, we're only going to get to one more lap after this one, probably. So I think Jerd is running out of chances to get past Fox, but Foes is turning up ever more as the race continues. This could continue. Michael Ziomi getting a bit ham-fisted trying to have a move on Dev Emsa, so it's not quite done there, yeah.
But what's quite... I was just going to say what's at least quite good about here is you may be in last on track, but you're still going to get 3 points. No matter where you finish, you're going to get 3 points.
Unless you DNF.
Well, but again, what are the chances of that?
In this championship, not likely. The damage is not too high, and it's quite hard to actually break these cars substantially enough that you would DNF. Maybe a disconnect might thwart you.
Disconnect would be probably the only way to do it.
Guys. And Jerd is still closing up. Let's try and get a look at this battle again. It's been going the same way all day now. I think Fox is just going to hold on at this rate. And if he can just keep holding on, Foes will catch Jerd on the next lap. Almost certainly Jim Salabim is there too. Anything could still happen. You see Fox once again really brushing it over the curbs. It's the last lap coming up now. His heart's going to be pounding. He's going to be tired. His arms are going to be hurting. Can he hold on for just one more lap and get that second place?
Again, it's been one of the best drives I've seen from Fox in a good long while. And if he does finish in second place, he fully deserves it 110%.
Oh, I have some insight from the chat that Mera de Barra is in bed with coronavirus. I'm so sorry, Mera. I hope you get soon very well, and I hope you don't have any further effects with that, and I hope you have a full recovery really quickly. Sorry to see you couldn't make it. Jerd is still sniffing at Fox, though. Although Fox is defending so well, he's just not finding that spot right now.
Again, it's been a defensive driving clinic from Fox. So if he wants to get past, he's got to make a very bold and audacious move. I am hesitating to say.
This could be it right here.
As I say that,
Fox brakes even later than Jerd and still somehow manages to steer the car around. He must have looked after his tyres really well because he's still managing to get that car to adhere despite braking super late. Foes is now coming in as well. Are we going to see another absolutely spectacular move from him at some point? Jerd is so close now, but Fox is defending so tightly.
Again, there's not many overtaking position areas left. There are a couple, but the sort of the big obvious ones have passed in this lap.
And this is almost certainly the last one. Before we do that, though, just going to see where Dario is on track. He's coming up. He's only a few corners ahead. Dario's definitely let off the gas a little bit in the final few corners. This is pretty much the last big opportunity for Jerd. Is he going to get it done? He's going for it. Fox goes super deep. I believe Jerd might just be through. I'm very quickly going to cut to Dario as he takes victory in the final round at CRC here at Kyalami. Another great drive from him. I'm going to cut back. Jerd is now ahead. What can Fox do? Is he going to hold on to the podium or is he going to go for it? As Foes goes for the absolute send. And I don't believe it. I think Fox might be robbed on the final corner here. I believe Foes is going to be through. This is going to be a photo finish. Let's see who's ahead. It's just about going to be Fox, and he will take third ahead of Foes. I tell you what, I don't know if Jerd set himself a bet, can I overtake on the final corner? But oh my word, what an absolute fantastic experience from these guys. Congratulations to Dario taking victory in the final round. I believe that's 4 wins out of 6 for Dario and 2 second places. So absolutely, you couldn't get much better than that. The perfect season. Jerd finishing second today. That will really help him in the fight for second place over Jim Salabim, who unfortunately finished 5th today. Absolute driver of the day, the star of the day. Fox finishing third. Really great performance from him. He's been getting better and better as the season has gone on. Foes again providing the fireworks, and I love seeing that Jägermeister car with half its paint missing. I wouldn't have it any other way. Jim Salabim 5th. Golson with a strong finish in 6th. Zaif a little bit of a quiet day staying 7th, but he's beat out Iceman to 8th. Shiro is 9th, MSP 10th, and Bundawat, Devemsa, and Michael Ziomi will take the final points. I am going to have to shoot now because unfortunately it is football time. I'm going to go watch England lose 2-1 to Denmark. Don't quote me on that. Thank you very much for joining us in CRC. This will be the final broadcast from us. It's been a pleasure having you on twitch.tv/ChargedSimRacing. Check out discord.me/charged. If you want to come join the community, we've got some banging events coming up every week. We've got big stuff coming up in the near future as well. So definitely come check it out. Anyway, it's going to be goodbye from me, and
it's goodbye from Boz.
Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you very soon. Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, yeah.